Cause I'm paranoid. After you have one, like, 2.5 hour video that just doesn't have your voice in it at all, you start to get a little bit annoyed.
Yeah, I can't blame you there. Looks like the stream at the very least is running.
That would be good if my phone would say the same thing. There we go. Alright, cool. Just double check it real quick. Alright, well, you are definitely a
I can hear your
voice.
voice through this.
So am I. Sweet. Alright, we seem to be live. I'm gonna do my intro really quick. Oops, that's not the right notepad. Alright, hello and welcome, dear patrons, to Purgatory Corner. Or to Tables of Tartarus. God, stop it. Get ads on this goddamn thing. Sorry. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be continuing the tale of shifting fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Today I am here with Oliver.
Hello, hello.
Shaky.
I'm trying to be sneaky.
Eleonora.
Hello.
And Rowena.
I need to be sneaky as well.
Remember the time we did that intro? All of us were just dead silent.
I know, right? So,
I was thinking about it, but you broke the silence.
Sorry.
So, first off, I want to say happy birthday to Eleonora. Hi, welcome. Happy birthday. She's a dearie. We're going to torture her endlessly today. Everyone get to hydrate. Giving her some birthday hydration.
Just like all of us, just like mess with our voice input system, so it just like distorts our voice like all heck, and then just proceed to start singing the happy birthday song.
I would immediately clip that.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, I also wanted to say a shout out to Ellie, because she's actually helping me transcribe all the chapters into proper pages, I guess. And that way I can actually edit them, and then edit them again, and then turn them into an actual story that is cohesive and not my way of talking, because I am terrible at words. And somehow she's able to read through it. So, you know.
You're telling me my recall of my vocabulary gets smaller by the day, I swear.
Same. I've lost like 9 words just today.
Oh, what?
Was that Shaky?
Someone who typed fast.
Oh.
Pretty much.
I mean, yeah.
So
I think that usually only works if you know whole words existing.
I will type words that no longer exist. Wa weep na sha shiniba. You're welcome.
I will happily remove that from the doc when I edit, when I type up this episode.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyways, so today, last we left off, you guys got into the church, met the mother and the father again, apparently. And turns out the father is an 11-foot tall average human. Not average normally speaking, but for his height, I guess he would be average. He's lanky. And then Shaky decided to do the most convoluted form of spellcasting I've ever seen, with a knock and a sound, a sphere of silence to open a single door into the second area. Huh?
Sid, this is pretty standard stuff when you're dealing with trickster, her mindset.
I have never played with a proper trickster spellcaster before. It's always been rogues.
He's having a proud DM moment.
He's not even a trickster. He's not trickster in terms of class. It's just most of them using that in terms of his character mindset.
Yeah, I usually deal with rogues, and they don't really have spells. They just have picky.
Then, one of these days, at the very least, for the love of God, play like a hexblade warlock or something. If you
that
really
would be
need to have
amazing.
that
I'm thinking of making
stuff.
one at some point. but it's probably going to be a girl. I have
It
not
doesn't
made
matter.
a female
I'm just saying,
character
it's
yet.
like you need to actually sit down and try out magic.
Oh, trust me. Oh, trust me. Some of your guys gonna be fighting is a spellcaster, and
No.
anyways,
I love magic.
so we're gonna be moving over here. God fucking damn it! Hold on. I have to change the lighting.
I love how we just have fog of war for all of us.
Feck
That's
you.
okay,
There
there
we
we
go.
go.
All right. So this is the top floor area. Pretend this book doesn't exist, but I'm going to move Shaky in here in 20 seconds. There you are. So Shaky, as you open the door over here, you pretty much just see kind of like the average upper area of a church. You see a little bench right here. You see, oddly enough, 2 coffins as well, although they seem more ceremonial than anything else. The statues all lined up, but they are of different deities than the ones from downstairs, none of which that you recognize. And then this area up here is not actually, there's no chairs or anything like that. It's more or less empty viewing room, I guess. It'd be kind of looking like a gallery almost. The chairs would be kind of lined up here, basically. And then there's a small little fenced off area kind of near the top where this book is. And then something past here. There's also a small chest that's just kind of laying down right there. It looks kind of like a clothing chest almost, or like could possibly be a donation chest from a long time ago. It does look rather dusty as well.
Okay. I don't think I have a lot of time, so I'm grabbing the book and then bolting.
Okay. Oh, the book is not there. Thing right here is a painting actually right there. And
I'm
there's
taking the
small chairs.
painting and bolting. I'm taking whatever is the big bright thing on display. I'm not touching anything else.
Okay. The painting is rather large. Let me show you what it looks like real quick. You could definitely grab it. Probably with some difficulty moving it out. But let me show what the painting looks like real quick. If I can navigate to it, for Christ's sake.
My brain totally went to like a sacrifice area to like, oh, it's a mortuary.
It looks like a donation room. Okay, here we are. Let me see. Father. Did that work? Probably worked. Hopefully that worked. There we go. That's what it looks like.
Whoa.
There's
Aw,
a
what
painting
a
in
nice
the
wedding
painting.
photo.
Ignore the painting in the background. It's more of a sheer wall thing. But yeah, it's of a giant man standing next to a woman. He's in the same pose as the man from downstairs was as well. And based on your ability to tell heights, considering your past, you would easily tell that this is 11 feet tall, as the other man was. Very likely the same person who's downstairs, just a full suit of armor rather than his peasant clothes, I guess.
As I approach the painting, I'll tip my hat and I'll say, "Mom, Pops," and I'm just gonna grab it.
Okay. So it is a little bit unwieldy, because it is more or less scaling picture. Do I have my map? I possibly do. Ah, shit. This is a bad one to whatever. It's fine. So yeah, you grab the painting, which is rather large for you. Do you go back downstairs? There is a window that leads to the main area. You could yeet yourself out the window if you would like to. Roll me
I still
perception
have the
real
cone
quick,
of
by the way.
silence, right?
Yes, the window would be inside the cone of silence. Well, that portion of the window. Possibly when it starts cracking upwards, it would stop, but you could probably make a person-sized hole in a spot that's still surrounded by the sphere of silence. But roll me perception real quick.
I am real perceptive.
All right, cool. You are very focused on the painting, I guess. So as you're kind of like turning around, the painting just turns and slams a corner of it directly into the side of the chest, and the chest kind of like scoots a little bit. Doesn't make a whole lot of noise. But yeah, your grip is unwieldy on this painting a little bit.
I'm gonna sincerely hope that chest isn't trapped, and I'm gonna.
It is not, although I will roll something to see, because I'm curious on if it's...
Does it bite him?
Alright, I'll give it to the rolls. You do see, as you slam into the chest, I was not going to give this to you, but rolls want you to have it. You see a small dice bag fall out of the chest. From the sounds of it,
Oh no.
it doesn't have a whole lot of dice inside of it, but it is very pretty. It would probably be like a
do
cosmic
like
purple
dice.
kind of dice.
Goblin brain want
Do it.
dice. I'm taking it.
Okay,
it.
cool. So you take this dice bag. It is very light. It is definitely not a full dice bag. From your many years of dice playing, you can tell this boy ain't full. But it does at least have one dice in there. And yeah, it's in dire need of a D20 in there. It sounds like it needs some weight behind it. But yeah, you kind of like shift the painting onto like your leg or something, balancing to the side, grab it, yeet it into your bag, and kind of turn the painting sideways. The worst burglary job. Jesus Christ. Burglary.
Ah, now I can't.
Somebody say the word for me. Burglary.
Burglary.
Thank
Thievery.
you. That's how you say it. Job in existence.
I'm not getting this painting out the window, am I?
You could. From what you can tell of your sphere of silence, I'm assuming you can more or less see the sphere since you're the one who made it. That's just how it makes sense in my head, is you can kind of see the radius it is. It easily takes up like half the window, or maybe like a quarter, but regardless. So you could
And
probably...
I'm gonna have to try to sneak it out of town. Okay, never mind. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the painting to the sphere of silence,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna smash it, tear it its canvas, whatever I can do to destroy it.
Aw. Okay.
Don't want to like roll up the picture.
Oh, hey, that's way smarter. Can I cut at the edges, pull it out of its frame, and then roll up the picture? You're a genius. I got
I
a
do
knife
sneaky
too.
things.
I'm not a very good rogue in real life, unlike Shaky. Real life me has no idea how anything works.
The idea of you just running up to grab the fucking painting, it's unwieldy as hell. You run back to the staircase, you sit down, you're like, alright, I could destroy this. And then just a flash of inspiration comes to you, like, or I could roll it up. Yeah.
Shaky is smarter than Snow. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my dagger, cut the corners out of the frame, roll it up, and tuck it away in my satchel.
Cool. Yeah, the whole cutting up thing was your wisdom speaking. The folding it was your intelligence speaking.
And now I don't have to break a window in broad daylight. I'm gonna try to sneak back down the way I came.
So you roll it up, all fancy like. Would you like to hang the frame back up?
I don't see a point. Question: Does the frame have a back, like a wooden back?
Yeah, I would say so.
I am going to. I have a set of pens and ink.
Oh, no.
In the back of the frame, I'm just gonna draw a smiley face. I'm guessing I don't have time for anything fancy, and I'm not. And Shaky's not really artistically inclined, so he's just gonna draw a big smiley face.
I am so excited to see that in the book.
Oh my god. Okay, so you just kind of pull out your ink or whatever. You just like smiley face. All the while, your allies are just downstairs, just kind of staring at these guys praying.
Well, I assume they're still talking. I assume that most of this happened at the same time.
Yeah, that's a better assumption now I think about it. So Ellie's having a panic attack, and you're drawing a smiley
Yay.
face.
Yeah, and so that I don't have to actually break out the pen, like I'm just gonna open up the inkwell and like find like a piece of cloth, dab the corner of the cloth, and then draw the smiley face with that.
Christ. All right, cool. Yeah, so you draw your nice little smiley face and just kind of head back downstairs, and we'll
Yeah,
eat.
just to discard the inked cloth. Probably got some on my fingers, and then try to get back down.
Christ. Yeah, so Ellie, you're having kind of a panic attack. The father has now just sat back down. You kind of see Shaky out of the corner of your eye. You're kind of slowly moving down the staircase. Rowena's also coming back from her looking at the apparently decrepit woman that's just kind of sitting there not moving ever. What'd you guys like to do?
I'm not 100% certain I even see him. I'm probably still rubbing my eyes with my glasses off.
Probably.
Because again, I actually looked at what was essentially a glowing light bulb directly.
Oh yeah, your eyes kind of hurt. I assume you all kind of like just kind of shuffle out of the room at this point.
I mean, I believe we actually did give them a proper goodbye. Hey, so that could
Yeah,
good.
we did.
Alright, cool.
I just double checked.
Nice.
And we did give them a proper goodbye, so at this point we might as well head out.
Alright, well in that case we're going to head back to town here. Just a nice little view for all of you folks. I'll change this to... There we go. Alright, so you guys head back out into the town. It seems exactly the same as when you guys went in. Everyone's just kind of moving around. Some folks are trading back and forth of different items or different currencies of sorts. And just kind of being a regular town. At least from what you guys can tell, it's a regular town. The fact there's so many different races is kind of weird, but I assume that doesn't bother you guys too much.
Well, I've got some good news and bad news at the same time, but I think that's probably a better save for when we get to camp a little later.
Why don't you give it to us now, Ralph?
I have no idea
Is
whether...
the business going under?
Not necessarily, but I'm afraid there doesn't seem to be too much here for us to pick up on this neck of the woods, or on this side of town, to keep it going, or to keep us going to the next location, so we'll probably have to do some foraging a little later, I guess.
It's a shame, Ralph. We're never gonna pay back the debt we owe to our landlord like this.
Not quickly, at least.
Yeah, there wasn't much they really said that would help us in the future, so... Not that I really asked any good questions. Sorry about that. Still recovering, apparently.
It's perfectly fine, Lady Gibson.
Well, at the very least I saw what I need to see. I say just finally putting my glasses back on now that I'm looking away from the building.
Nice. Most of the people seem to have a very, very, very dampened version of what you saw inside the building.
And I'll tell you how it was as soon as we get out of here. And I just whisper, I'm not certain how much can be heard by the deity itself in here, if anything.
Rowena's gonna like sidle up beside Shaky and say, "Brother, please, the next time you do something, let me know beforehand."
If I'm planning to do something, I'll let you know beforehand, but sometimes inspiration just strikes in the moment.
What did happen?
What happened was, he went and he just jump to go
No,
stealth.
no, it can wait till camp.
Fair enough.
Oh my God. Do not leave me alone. Okay.
I
You're right-
mean,
you're right,
Oliver
sis.
and I were left alone. You know, the two awkward ones to ask questions to the big boss people.
And I'm sure you did a good job. You two have always been the business's face.
Ah,
If
yes,
that's
a
what you
messy
wanna call it.
face.
If that's what you want to call it, I guess.
Hey, baby
But anyway,
darling.
it's
I got you snackies. Open
my
up,
goodness.
baby darling.
Yeah,
Here
no.
comes the chickadee twain.
I
Shush.
don't
been
think
eating
his
enough?
mic is muted.
Okay, take care of
it
yourself,
does not
honey
seem to be at the
bunches.
moment.
Hey, where'd that
Oh my
maid
gosh, I
outfit
want
come
snacks.
from? AliExpress?
Don't talk to him about my boy panties.
Anyway,
Oh,
I
it's my
think-
brothers.
Nice.
They just hand me a sandwich. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we brought up before that we would still like slowly make our way back to the camp, just checking out the flip side of the town after
Yeah,
the church,
definitely.
Probably,
The
yeah.
other-
because we still need to figure out some kind of information we can use for later.
Do we
You
know
guys
what
looking
sort of
for anything
information we're
in
usually
specific?
looking for?
Ellie?
Well, we do know that verbally they do not really know that you're there unless you like get their attention speaking to them, but we don't know how they respond to like physical touch. Other than the fact that they just seem to routinely glide past each other, no problem.
Can I keep an eye out for any like blue roses or, you know, the symbol that the lady was holding? Or
Oh,
had on?
blooming rose.
I thought it was a
Ah.
rose in blue. Like a blue rose. But was it a rose in bloom?
Did I say that she was holding a... Oh, was that her cleric symbol?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
her cleric symbol. It was a blooming rose, not specified any color. It was a necklace around her neck.
Ah, okay. Man, my brain completely deleted that. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Wow, yeah, legitimately, like 100%, it was just gone. Yeah, you're welcome to look out for roses and the like. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of plant life around you. Mostly just small tufts of grass every now and again. A lot of gravel around you as well.
Just anything, like even carvings or words. I want to keep an eye out for that.
As you guys are walking, I would probably say you don't see much of any of that. You do see... actually, roll me perception real quick. I'm curious.
All of us, or
Just
anyone
her
specifically?
at the moment.
Oh, okay.
See her perception roll of the gods.
Yeah, it's not bad.
11. That's not bad. Yeah, so you would probably see every now and again, you're fairly certain, though you are kind of like distracted by just the massive amount of people. But every now and again, you swear you can see like some people like almost brush shoulders. Like almost everyone seems to be gliding past each other pretty much like very easily. But every now and again, somebody will almost hit another person. And then just like kind of correct, they both will correct themselves at the same time.
They're probably new. At least from my guess, is the longer you hear, the more routine you're in. And if you're not here long enough, then of course there's going to be little mistakes that aren't equal.
That
Yeah,
also
so-
makes sense to me.
So it mostly just seems like there is a little bit more marketplace around here, and most of the houses people seem to be kind of going into. It seems to be more or less midday based on your guys' internal clocks, so villagers are just out and about. Anything specific you want to do or look for, aside from what Ruin is looking for?
You know, here's a weird one. Do they have a visible library anywhere?
It's a good question. We'll go with... I don't think they... They would. Not a very big one. But they would have a very small library.
Yeah, I'm not going in there.
I'd have to step in just simply to quickly skim through their resources.
I'll join in. That sounds fun.
I mean,
Oh, Ellie aside. Time for some girl talk.
Oh god.
yay! Let's just hope we don't run into anyone.
I mean, they could just as easily follow us in and just keep a few paces behind us.
Yeah, I'm not
It wouldn't
going.
be that big of a deal
Not
for us to
going
just
to.
simply say, yeah, we're related to them, or something along those lines.
Rowena does not like libraries.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so if you want to look for anything specific, Oliver and Leon, you can both roll history if you'd like. And then Ellie and Rowena are standing outside.
I'm
we
gonna keep an eye out for Jackson, because I know he went in this direction.
Okay. What was that, Shaky?
Oh, I was like, I know we've got steelwork. Do we have a printing press in this world? Like, do they have printed books on this island?
I will say yes, for you, just because the dwarves up north.
I'm gonna look for
And-
Pulp Fiction then.
Okay.
That's fair enough, actually.
All right.
I'm actually-
Remind me
I'm
what
gonna-
Pulp Fiction is, real quick.
Trash airline novels.
Fair. Yeah. All right.
The books you find in the grocery store.
Yeah, you would
Like-
find a
like
couple of
like
those. Yeah.
cowboys and superheroes, that sort of thing.
You would find,
Exactly.
yeah, you would definitely find a couple of those. They're trashy.
Do I find any trashy romance novels?
Oh, you 100%.
I'm picking up the first one I see.
Oh god, hold on. Let
Ellie
me
has questions.
let me think of let me. You know what? Give me a name. Give me a name. I'll tell you what the book is about.
Do I find it?
Hardin Hightown.
Oh god.
No comment.
No. Oh no.
So this is a book about two dragonborns who are in love. One of them is from the dreaded underworld, which is not actually a world of death, but instead is just a place down of pain and suffering. And the other one is a highborn, and they fall in love, and with their dragon kind, they are off on adventures, forsaking the towns that they grew up in to find their dragon parents, because apparently they're siblings, but they didn't know that until the end of the book.
Oh goodness.
Ralph was a good idea coming in here.
What are you talking about?
What kind of Star Wars knockoff is
I
this?
can't. I've never seen these sorts of texts before.
I encourage you to give them a gander next time you have a moment. They're
I'll
mighty
definitely-
fine.
I'll definitely consider it.
Yeah, if you
I was-
want to look
Oh,
for anything of the actual history, Oliver, feel free to roll me history.
Do I see any instructional texts?
Oof.
Okay, there's my roll. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, anything specific, like, I'm assuming potion making, or...
Potion making, or honestly, even baking.
Baking, they would have some. Very, very simplistic recipes, primarily involving, like, bread and stuff like that. So grains and things.
No simple pastries?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll start flipping through a couple of the pages.
Cool, cool. And outside of the store, Ellie and Rowena, girl talk.
Because that's what we need.
Oh, exactly.
How are you holding up, Ellie, dear?
Well, I'm holding up as well as this war is going. So
You're not. Because the war isn't happening just yet, really. Or at least the battle isn't.
yeah, which means I'm not quite at a breakdown yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm doing okay at the moment. Just wasn't expecting to see Jackson after not seeing him for 3 months. So,
So that was him.
yes, that's
Okay.
Jackson.
What is your plan? Like it No, not if, sorry. When we get everyone back to normal. What is your plan?
Honestly, I have no idea. This is my first adventure ever, to be honest. This is the first time I've ever been out of the forest alone. And I've actually quite enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it's been really rough to try to keep things focused up to now, but that's because we went back to the forest. But honestly, I have no idea. I mean, I still want to adventure and everything else, but I also feel like I have a little bit of undiscussed things with Jackson. But I mean, we'll see when we get to that point. But I would really like to be there for you when we go to the Citadel and meet our possible parents. Well, yours. And I get to see what parents are like, I guess.
Of the statement, our possible parents.
You can see Rowena go from like a little bit on edge to kind of relaxed to like to back to being a little bit relaxed again. Just the range of emotions she goes through.
Her face
It's like-
contorts.
On edge because she wanted Ellie to stay with them. And she's relaxed when she's like, "Oh, I do want to stay with you." And then she's like, because the parents thing is still kind of weird. But Ellie, I don't know if it means much to you, but it means a lot to me to hear that you do want to stay with us. Or at least with me when we go to the Citadel.
Yeah, that means a lot. I'm glad it sorry, words. It definitely makes me feel welcomed because again, this is all really new to me, so it feels like I have people and a little like found family.
Or your actual family. I mean, I guess.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
I don't mean to stumble over your
you're fine.
grandpappy.
Love him dearly, but
A little crazy.
just a bit.
Just a bit wild, yeah.
Grandpappy.
But nonetheless, I survived. I'm here. And I made it through. I didn't get grabbed by a cult. So,
Which is great. You just got grabbed by a prophecy and whatever voices you're hearing in your head. Do you hear voices or do you see people?
it's more of I see them in like a dream state when I go to bed. That's really the only time we communicate. Well, except now I have this little rock that I can talk to Shar, but I don't plan on using it I plan on probably giving it to some drunk or hiding it inside of the flooring of a tavern.
So
Wait.
mean.
Are you joking?
Should I be?
I don't know. I still find it hard. If you, I'm just gonna be straight honest with that.
Oh, it's fine. You're like, probably the fourth, maybe third person I've told about this god things, and everyone else found me crazy. Well, except Jackson. He found it kind of cool, but he's weird. So,
Why don't you know what? Give me the rock. Let me
Okay.
fuck around with it.
I mean, you're more than welcome to. She's a bit weird and yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm very, very curious.
Do you take the rock?
I mean, I hand her the rock. I don't think I actually specifically put it in my inventory as a named item.
Unlikely. Yeah, so the moment that you touch the rock, hi Pocket. The moment that you touch the rock, Rowena, your entire body just goes cold. Like as if you just got like shoved into like a freezer or something. It is just an absolute chilling feeling. Kind of similar to when you were inside of Cataclysm, inside the actual snow. It's just a full body chill.
Oh,
Are you okay?
Is it usually this cold?
Oh, I must have not noticed because I have the bracelet from Ezekiel on me.
I
It
will
makes it so I don't
say,
feel anything.
Ellie, you have never felt it as being cold.
Oh, well then.
It's an Ellie excuse though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me that the bracelet would hoard it off, or just Paylor would be like, no.
Well, if it's actually cold, I mean, think of it this way. I could put it in a drink and keep it cold.
I mean, that works. It'd be a weird ice cube, I guess.
Yes, exactly. That was my attempt at a joke. Thank you.
You're good.
God gives you a communication tool, and you're like, I could put in a drink.
Ice cube?
Ice cube.
I've been calling it the Rocky Talkie.
You're so much better at jokes than me.
I mean, I have worked at a bar, so I have experience.
Okay. That makes sense. I was raised in an elvish society.
I don't really do jokes there.
They don't really do jokes.
No?
Well, I'm sure you had some fun there.
So eventually,
it
by
perfect.
around this time, probably the boys are either done with their book scavenging or are reading a trashy romance novel together.
Oh my gosh.
One of
Are
those
we
two.
reading a treasure romance novel together? 'Cause that would be awesome.
I just imagine just like Oliver's like flipping through these, just like, these are some interesting texts. I never had the pleasure of reading these sort of things growing up.
See,
Oh man, these things always have a crazy third act twist. One of them's gonna betray the other. It's gonna be the best.
That's really.
But at the end, they're gonna reconcile and make out. You know it.
Is that really that common in these? That's flipping the page again.
All these books end with the big third act twist and then the reconciliation after the climax. I mean, look, I'm gonna just flip to a page. This one's describing the Dragonborns making out. You ever seen two Dragonborns make out? That can't be easy.
I can't.
Whoever
Even,
wrote this book has clearly never met a Dragonborn.
I can't even say I've met one either. So They probably have a step on me.
I love romance.
So, Ellie needs Shaky to be a teacher on romance.
Oh god.
Oh,
Shaky was educated by terrible novels. He would be the worst teacher.
Oh my
And
god.
Oliver has no experience.
Yay! Ellie's not gonna know.
This is
what
the
she's
best
feeling
group for
at
her
all.
romantic troubles.
Oh no.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so,
Hey, shopkeep, how much for the smut? I'm gonna say that loud enough so the girls outside can hear it while they're having their
Oh no.
while they're having their conversation about finding family.
oh,
really
for
what
those
it's
books, it's a
called?
copper a book.
I'll give him a silver.
And what about this? I say holding up the cookbook.
That would be, 5 copper.
Food smut and actual smut.
Sure. I will pay him the 5 copper.
Cool, cool. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Elliot, as you just hear from inside the shop, how much for this smut book?
Oh my.
Rowena, what's smut?
Deep, dark cavern that you don't need to go into.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus
to know.
Christ. I just imagine Shaky walking out with like a book, like the book just skimming through it as he's just walking towards you.
There's a tear in his eye. No, Alistair, don't lie to him.
It's very repetitive.
Ah, okay. Is that what Shaky's reading, I'm guessing?
Most likely, I wouldn't put it past him. Is what I'm trying to say.
Ah, okay.
I just.
See?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Good.
Oh, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Was it seems typical.
I'm just imagining just Oliver just like walks out. I'll just stare at the book, just like, why are cookbooks so disorganized? I would have assumed. Just like staring at it, confused.
This is a equality town. You'd think the books would make sense.
He just shows it to you. It's just like a completely ordinary cookbook. It's just like, why are the ingredients just so out of order in comparison to the instructions for how to put them together? And why don't they sort this with, or at least why don't they sort this with the dry ingredients with the fluid ones? Seems like that would be a lot more reasonable. Really, just stare, and yeah, just scratching his face, just confused.
Horrified by a cookbook.
I just imagine just like he's used to just all these hyper organized sorts of things because he needs these to be, or because in his work he needs to have all this stuff just in the right places and just very well organized to make it easier and faster to complete his potions and all that jazz. So it's just
These
like
aren't
now
even peer reviewed.
Oh god.
So now he's just like looking in a cookbook because, as you know, the ingredients are almost never organized in the order that you actually put them into the actual food in question, and he's just like, "Why is it this way? Why did they do this?"
I am just like turning the
Again,
book sideways,
I'm
looking
assuming
at
that
it.
there's completely nothing wrong with the cookbook. It's just like it's organized in a way he doesn't understand.
Yeah, it's a cookbooks organization. You be looking at this, like turn it sideways, left and right, and you see just Shaky kind of doing the same thing, but with tears in his eyes. Like, no, Alejandro.
Ellie, darling, I
Yes?
think the library broke our boys.
It seems that way. I thought we'd sooner break them, but I guess not. That's kind of sad.
Honestly, I'm a
Liza.
little angry. I'm the only
Same.
one I want to break. I'm the only one who's going to break. Like, come on. What, a book?
I guess I didn't fall from the tree hard enough or fast enough to break Shaky if he's crying over a book.
You don't get it. It's
Right, pull
okay.
yourself
It'll
together,
get
man.
better
Come
by
on.
the end.
Are you okay, Shaky? What's happening in the book?
Alistair lied. And he tried. I'm sorry. It's a rough one, this one.
Ellie tilts her head to the side, confused.
Rowena goes over to
I get real invested in these things.
I love this so much.
Okay.
I would have
I
assumed.
mean, you do you.
I would have assumed that alchemy would have been so much more complicated than baking. What is this?
You'll
It's an art.
You'll just start walking, and both the boys are just consumed by the books in either pure confusion or pure agony. Oh,
never baked?
God.
Rowena's talking to Oliver, the tiefling. Have you never baked before?
I mean, I've tried doing it off of no, what am I trying to say? I've tried a couple of the recipes that my mom wrote up, and they seem to have been organized all right, but I can't really say I have had a lot of experience with it, especially recently.
Oh, you have a mom.
I mean, I was born to 2 humans. That's
Honestly, I just thought you kind of splashed out of the void.
you don't have a lot of experience with humanoids, do you?
What do you mean?
We're born. All of us are born to someone. We don't just spawn out of nothingness.
I mean,
I was dropped out at Forest.
But you did still have blood-related parents.
I mean, I just found that out the other day, so...
I can't imagine Grandpappy just have you like, who are my parents? He's like, the trees! The trees!
We made you out of dirt and blood. And alcohol.
I'll just leave it at I'm not even I'm really certain why I was born the way I was. By all basic rights I know of at the moment, I should have been born human as well. But here I am.
yeah, here you are. Broken by a book on baking?
Do you actually understand this stuff? Or you just as holding it out towards her?
She'll reluctantly take it, as per usual whenever she takes something from him. Takes a look. I mean, it looks like the stuff that my parents had. Yeah, it makes some sort of sense to me. Not a baker, but
I just thought it'd be something fun to try out on the side.
I mean, you can try. I won't be tasting it.
I'm quite curious. Maybe you'll be a better cook than I am. Granted, I haven't tested out cooking on a pan other than my own, so...
Shaky ahead or behind?
Definitely
behind.
trudging behind.
Oh,
God.
If he wasn't heartbroken, he'd probably make a quip about the bread turning you invisible.
Oh. Y'all eventually... I'm assuming y'all coming out the way you came in, since that's pretty much the only exit properly.
Probably.
So you'll eventually leave out the way you came in, kind of going around the area to try to get to where Ezekiel told Oliver he was going to be. On the way there, you guys see various ditches just kind of splattered around the areas, kind of like just massive potholes, basically, inside the ground. Some of them are semi-filled, some of them are just so deep it's kind of hard to see down inside of them. And so on. And then you see in probably like another 50 or so feet ahead, probably around the east side of the town along the east wall. You see Ezekiel just kind of sitting there crisscross on the ground, eyes closed and hands, kind of out to see there's a shit ton of preparation spell work around him, just kind of sprayed out along the area. It all looks to be very organized, but at the same time exceptionally chaotic. And he kind of like opens his eyes as he sees you guys coming up. Hello.
Hello.
Can I scan around the stuff he has laying out there, make sure there aren't any like roses, like he isn't double crossing us, and he's actually gonna bring in this thing.
I support that idea.
You do not see any crosses around him. Oh, sorry, any roses around him.
Right, cross. Write that down. Write that down.
Oh my god.
Is there crosses around him? Yeah, you do not see any roses around him, as he just kind of is sitting there, basically. Don't get too close to the circle. I'm still preparing stuff.
I'm gonna unroll the painting, and just kind of like, all right. So when I was up in that in them their rafters, I found this painting. It was kind of on display in the middle. Doc, any of y'all think it's magical?
Oh my goodness.
You think this is gonna turn us into indoctrinated worshippers of Equinox or something?
I
Give me
hope
10
not.
minutes. Give me 10 minutes, I say, as I just dip my fingers back in the blue vial and start wiping the glasses again.
Thank you kindly, Doc.
Yeah, he kind of looks at the painting, and you see a kind of sad smile appear on his face. He's like, you found them when they were in their prime.
They were young.
Do you know nothing of humans?
They do not look young in that picture, and I know of only one human, thank you very much, and I guess you.
Forgive our
that's-
half-elf companions. Neither of them really work with non-elves, apparently.
I
Except,
see.
now that I think about it, Potts.
Yeah. I work with non-elves. A lot.
He was raised
Well,
with them.
That's the mother and the father back when they were part of my adventuring crew.
Go on.
Explain.
I was an adventurer too. I was a part-time adventurer. I think back then, what was I back then? I was a was that the year I tried testing out being a barbarian? No. Was I a
Oh my
cleric?
god, does he have one level in every class? Is that why his backstory
No, I
is
was
so
a wizard.
crazy?
That was it. That was the time I was trying on being a wizard. He was a paladin. She was a cleric. I think life domain, if I remember correctly. Fantastic healer. She kept him alive through more combat than I can tell you about. I wrote it down
I am
somewhere.
absurd.
Hmm?
Sorry, that was a joke. That
Puffin
Someone
Forest, and look it up.
Thank you.
Poppin' Forest. I'm very curious now.
Puffin Forest, he had a character for a one-shot that literally had a handful of levels
Oh,
in literally
yeah,
every
yeah.
class.
Yeah,
And he
the
named him
absurd. Absurd. But he's like, I was a wizard back then. So many fireballs I threw back in my day. They were good folks.
Well, not anymore.
What
They're
happened?
still... Well, they decided that they wanted to be done with adventuring. They got old, and they left to settle down somewhere, to retire from the adventuring gig, to start a family. And, well, they did. But, unfortunately, they picked the wrong town, it seems. The guy seems to have gotten to them.
It seems like they're maybe growing apart. At least the father seems sad when he was talking about how once you're bonded to someone or they just don't feel the same way. So
Interesting. They were close as could be when they left. I cannot imagine what could possibly separate them. Maybe the goddess herself separate them, but I do not know. It's been a long, long time since I've talked with them. Like, 5 years.
Okay, hang on. Is the surprise
Wait.
third act twist that you're a god or something? Because I don't think I can handle that right
I am
about
not
now.
God, thank you. I serve one, but I am not one myself.
Which one do you serve?
Oh, it's simple. Fuck, I forgot his name. Fuck.
Halo.
Hold on.
Aelor?
No.
Jar.
God.
Jar Jar.
Is he? Well, I have to ask my brother. Ezekiel. I can't remember his name.
That's okay. Skip.
Tome Lord. That was it. He's like, I serve the Tome Lord. A collector of books. As I said, I'm a librarian. I collect
At least
stories.
for now.
Well, yeah.
I collect stories too. My collection is one big right now.
Wait, he only bought one book. I thought when he dropped the silver on, he bought like 10
No, he
Old
just bought the
classics or something.
one.
10 pulp books.
But he's like, I serve the Tome Lord. My goal is to find the Akashic Records, a mysterious area that's said to contain all knowledge. And that's my goal.
Yep.
How'd you get
So,
wrapped up in all this?
Well, my god is... Well, he dislikes the removal of stories in some cases. And, well, if this town gets smited, that would be bad. And if this goddess were to erase the entire town, that could also be potentially bad. And if, she got powerful enough to slay both Palor and, Shar, then what's to stop her from coming after him?
I suppose I see your point in that regard, but still a little strange how you found yourself here specifically.
I get sent to deal with the gods often, especially when there's a library in town.
So, you said you were. Last time you talked to them was 5 years ago, and 5 years ago is when there was a Dragonborn adventurer group that attacked the town. Were you the cause of that?
I remember that. No, I wasn't. They were a band of, wandering Dragonborn, unfortunately. And they kind of slaughtered most of what this town used to be. And so when my companions set out to retire, they thought it'd be a nice place to settle down, help the town fix itself, so to speak. Try to give people, family, hope once more as the Dragonborns left on their way. It was a very sad occasion.
What exactly is a Dragonborn? I've never seen one.
What? You saw the kid hidden to me, didn't you?
Yeah, he looked like a tiny reptile, but standing.
I think I was actually away during that above game.
It's quite possible. Yeah.
Like, I think that he was literally midway into trying to make it look like he's actually doing business somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
I
Think
do
you
remember
will.
that now.
He's always away when the
What?
important stuff happens.
From the old stories, they say that Dragonborn are the spawn of dragons. Honestly, I think they're just kind of a weird influx of magic that infected a dragon's egg and then popped into a humanoid dragon that then had more babies, but no one really knows what truly created Dragonborn. They're basically just kind of lizard people.
Do you think that has anything to do with how I was born of two humans?
It's quite possible. Although a Dragonborn coming out of a lady, that's an unpleasant thought. Maybe she just pooped out an egg.
Or, the scales and horns and stuff aren't there. at the start.
Oh, yeah. Might be a weird scaleless dragon.
Oh my god, I always
Or
thought
they fall.
Dragonborn gave live birth. Now I'm questioning everything I know. Is there like some pamphlet I missed when I was young that just answers stupid questions? 'Cause I feel like I should have gotten that.
I would like one too, please, so I can catch up on stuff.
Honestly, third one over here, I've never really learned anything about anything outside of elves and, orcs. And killing orcs.
I was in a forest up until a week ago. All my life.
He just looks at y'all with a face of, like, deep confusion. As he's like, if I find some pan flips, I'll hand it. Fair warning, they might not be the, most pleasant things to look at.
Write them yourself.
I have not been a painter yet. I could probably try that for a while. Part-time painter. Might try.
I mean,
Why not a writer?
I guess I could be a writer.
Does seem more fitting considering your inclination.
Oh, that's true. Writing about the births of every race. I had to find all of them first. Dark elves are very hard to find, as it turns out. Or drow, I guess their names are.
There's dark elves as well.
Oh yeah, they're technically extinct, but fairly certain there's some on Cataclysm. No one's
Hold
seen
up,
them in like
they're
100
extinct.
years, though.
How are they in Cataclysm?
No one's seen them in 100 years. I don't know if they're extinct. They might be. I have to go find them at some point. It's been on my bucket list for like decades.
Wait, how old are you again?
I'm an age.
Okay.
That's what Jackson says, and Shaky, ironically.
You know, it's
Ruby-
impolite to ask a man his age.
I'm just
Seriously though, you guys got Dwergar on this island, or is that just a thing where I'm from?
Do we have
Sorry,
what
Miss
on
Bartha,
this
what
island?
did he say?
Dwergar, Dark Dwarves.
Oh, Duergar.
Oh.
What did I say?
I heard Twitter guard. I was like, but he kind of
Twitch
like
regard you well, son. Twitch regard you well.
he kind of looks up to the sky for a second. He's like,
Dark dwarves.
I haven't seen those for a long time either. Maybe they've banded with the drow. I could write a book about that. That'd be fun. I'm getting distracted.
Public with the births of different, beings.
I could write that one first, I guess. Yeah. Adventure story or non-fiction birth writing.
Build up your repertoire.
But yeah, I assume you guys had a good look around in there, and you visited the library, I can see.
Indeed. By the way, while we're on the subject of the task at hand, so what did you say we needed to do with the two entities that are going to respawn the deity or equinox if we don't do anything about them?
Oh, it's very simple. You need to kill both of them.
It's the man and the woman we saw in the church.
Yep.
Those exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I got a direct look at them. I mean, you just said as for a minute and just pulling his glass away from the cloth and holding it up so they can see it before going back to wiping the lenses again.
Yep, you need to slaughter both of them.
Okay. And based on the information we've gathered, we'll have to kill the mother first and then the father.
He shrugs.
Why is that?
Because Ezekiel brought up that she has healed him. He survived every single battle possible,
Oh, yeah.
no matter what. So it just makes sense to unalive her first and then him, or both at the same time.
I mean, if you can go through him before you get to her, she'll be a very open target. Don't worry about it. She's a she's a healer, not a fighter, usually speaking.
I'm basically a mouse to that giant.
Yeah, just be
So-
thankful you're not fighting him at full power.
Follow-up question.
Mhm.
If you're immortal and accomplished in so many different skills and apparently an adventurer extraordinaire, how come you get to sit out the fight and you gotta hire us schmucks to do it?
Oh, it's very simple. I get to kill the goddess.
You get to do the fun.
Well, it depends on whether or
I
not you want your
retract my
brain to
question.
liquefy.
Have you ever? I'm just gonna straight up look at Shaggy. Have you ever seen a concentration-based spell?
I think I can cast them. Let me check my spell list. 1 sec. Do I have any spells that just require me to keep playing?
I legitimately
stop.
don't know.
I literally have 4.
I do have concentration spells. Yes, I do.
Hey, there
I
you
literally
go.
have
I-
4 that require concentration that I have prepared at the moment.
Literally,
Nice.
one of my concentration spells I cast today. So,
Oh yeah, silence.
Silence.
yep.
But it's like,
I should have known that.
you guys get to go fight those two. I get to technically have my brain liquefied a couple times.
Yeah, I'll retract my question. You can kill the god. We'll deal with the kids.
You sure? It'd be fun.
Sounds like an experience.
Can I roll an insight check to see how much of this crazy story I believe? Because I don't believe any of it.
You are more
I
than
think he's
welcome
bullshitting
to.
us so hard.
You are more than welcome to.
I have met 2 gods, and I mean, if you think you can do it, more power to you, but.
Let me put it this way. That's the kind of story that Shaky would come up with to explain who he is
Yeah.
and why he's traveling with you. I can't tell shit.
Yeah, you cannot tell whether or not he's telling the truth or lying in any way, shape, or form. For all you know, he could be telling the most elaborate lie of all time, or he could be completely straightforward with you. You cannot tell even slightly.
I don't. Yeah, above the table, I don't believe a word this guy's saying.
Yeah, I won't lie. It does sound a little suspicious.
It's just giving a smile, you know.
So, how many times have you had your brain liquefied before?
Only a couple of times. It's fine.
Okay, but
How are you still alive if your brain got liquefied?
It's simple. You know, don't die. He just smiles.
That is-
Insight!
Is there someone bringing you back to life, or at least more alive than you were each time?
Yeah, I'm under the Tome Lord. He gave me immortality, technically speaking.
Wait,
Wait,
hold
wait.
on.
What's the technicality? Immortality. Technically speaking.
Well, yes, if he dies, I die. So I'm not technically immortal.
So you're tethered to him, or at least bonded.
To some degree, yeah.
Hey, Sin, how far along is my detect magic?
Almost there, I would say.
Okay. Still not there yet, though.
You're welcome to roll insight, though.
And
I found
Ouch.
nothing.
Yes.
Literally,
You're
none of my
so
rolls
good at
today
this.
have been above a 10.
He
Or
looks
none of my dice-
completely truthful to you. He has a small smile on his face. He seems extremely relaxed. You don't know what that means in any way, shape, or form, but, you know.
My people skills have been lacking for years, and so I have no idea what on earth this face means.
Insight!
I assume it's
You know,
good.
you look like a dragonborn. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Oliver has no idea what those look like. He's
Exactly.
never seen one before.
But yeah, so he's just like, yeah, so, you know, if you guys want, you can take a rest. We'll be starting around 11 o'clock, so you guys have a couple hours to kill. I'm just gonna be continuing my circle. If you guys have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Till we get to about 10 o'clock,
Say
in
no
which
more.
case, shut up.
I
I'm
think
going
we
to
got
sleep.
the basic understanding as to what we need to do, but Not gonna lie, I am a little bit concerned about how what's ongoing.
Shaggy just pulls out a sleeping bag.
I have a question.
Yes.
We found out that they don't really know you exist unless you like verbally get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
But they routinely just glide past each other like they're used to each other. But it seems those that are new, they kind of bump into one another, apologize to and correct it. Probably an equalization spiel.
Mhm.
But how do you know by chance how they respond to physical interaction? Because we have to knock them out somehow.
Generally speaking, for physical interactions, they will probably respond as if you touch them. I mean, if I touch you on the back of the shoulder, you'll turn around. If I punch you in the face, you'll probably punch me back. So they respond kind of naturally. It's the reason they don't really see you is because they see you as part of their group, I suppose. All of them are tethered to the goddess in some way, shape, or form. Those who have the call the highest are the most tethered, and they basically walk around each other because they know each other are there and they exist. When you're untethered, you kind of disappear almost from their 360 line of sight, kind of. It's kind of hard to explain. And newer ones, obviously, they're still kind of getting used to each other. Oh, hello. Who's that? Oh, Amika.
I haven't followed yet.
I didn't realize that. But yeah, he's like, and then so the new ones, they'll kind of walk around each other because they are kind of new, and it's like having a bunch of strings together and trying to move them around. Sometimes they just kind of get touched.
So, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
If someone managed to be untethered, do they like go back to how their life was per se, or do they still remember their life outside of town?
You know, I don't know too much. All I know is from some books a while ago. To the best of my knowledge, which albeit is not much, I've only been following this goddess for a little while, is it's kind of like you're seeing out of a cage almost. You're seeing things as if you're not really the person in control, but at the same time, you feel in control. So I suppose when that tether gets pulled out from you and you fully regain consciousness, you would remember everything that happened and everything that was outside, and everything before. You'd probably go back to being normal unless you had some extraordinarily, traumatic experience by some chance.
So, theoretically saying, could they like fight the tether themselves to try to regain consciousness because
They
they
could.
recognized something?
They in theory they could try to cut the tether themselves. It's gonna be real hard for them to do so. Once I slightly awaken her, but they could in theory. And if you give them a real hard knock to the noggin, they might be able to.
Fair.
I do have my own additional question for you, though.
Yes.
If they don't seem to be driven by their normal senses, are you sure our actions alone would be able to divert their attention if we have to literally act on every individual? And from the sounds of the way that things are going, there is the possibility that the entire town is going to be on us once we get started.
I would say they would see it by threat level. So if you weren't rushing into that town, obviously I would be the base threat level. But if I kill the goddess, she just don't come back, with my old companions. So I'm not really that big of a threat if those that bring her back die.
So essentially, it's all going to be down to which is more of a threat: the individual that's actually trying to kill the god, or the individual that's trying to destroy its respawn point.
Pretty much. I would say that if you can just always come back, the one who's gonna kill you is not that important.
Maybe, but I get this feeling we're going to have pretty much all of heck on our shoulders once they figure out what's going on.
It's possible, so don't let them.
Is there one more question? This is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly due to one specific person that's here. Does the enchantment affect, like, their attacking or just how they attack or magical abilities, whatever fighting style they had in previous?
We're
Is
not
this
gonna
an
be
above
doing
game
this
question or
ritual.
in character?
Yeah.
What's that?
Is this an above game question or an in character?
In character.
Okay.
He's gonna be like, when I start this ritual, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to poke her with a giant stick. Have you ever been poked with a giant stick when you're in dead sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember how you feel directly afterwards, where your brain's not quite on, and you're just kind of annoyed at everything, but you also can't really get your footing, and you just kind of want to go back to sleep?
I have scars to prove it, but yes.
That's basically how she's going to be. So all of her tethers and whatnot are kind of going to be fumbling towards you. They will attack you with vicious height, but it's not really going to be anything complicated, aside from the two, obviously. But yeah, which is also why if I get knocked out of my concentration, it would be like if I poured a bucket of ice water on your head. Except
Okay,
with a
so-
god.
Okay, so noted. I'm going to need to make sure I've got that flask of sanctuary ready.
Yeah, if I get distracted or die, she goes to full power. Otherwise, she's just in that groggy, I hate life mood. And I can kill her in that groggy, I hate life mood. Otherwise, she's gonna get smited. And I don't know about you, but I actually enjoy the fact that you guys exist and are willing to do stuff for me.
Fair enough. I was just
Within
worried.
reason. This
Sure.
is already me stretching the limits of my morals.
Sure,
By a
let's go with
lot.
that.
So, in case of anyone's curious, if suddenly one of the male adults that looks like Jackson seems tougher than the rest of them, safe to say that is for sure Jackson, because he was a fighter and a jack of all trades and an adventurer before this point. So, fair warning.
He's just gonna clap
Noted.
his
Keep color
hands and
spray
be
ready.
like, "Don't worry, just do what you do best and beat people to a pulp."
He's the one that taught me.
It'll be slow, it'll be fine. I'm sure you can do it. You have a giant pan. I have faith in you.
Color spray
Is
and
this
grease.
helping? I haven't really had to do a pep talk for a long time. I have utter and complete faith in you. Is this at all helping?
No, I already believe in myself.
Alright, fair enough. I believe in the you that believes in the you that believes in the One Piece. I mean you.
No, we don't want to cast it. I want to look at that.
We should probably start getting prepped, since there's a lot to process now.
Yep. He stands up and grabs his bag right next to him and just starts to put down a bunch of candles, basically. Ya-da-da. Ya-da-da.
Can I look around and see if I don't know how I would notice, but see if I notice Dude Bro Crow.
Dude Bug Crow! Let me see. Dude Bug Crow is not here today.
Okay.
Dude Bug Crow! All right, yeah. So y'all just kind of take a long rest. Wait for nighttime.
I would assume, yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's a long rest.
Wonder if I can do this.
I mean, that's part of why we decided to settle down in the afternoon so we could get a long rest and get all of our spell slots back.
Yeah. How dark does this go?
I still have all my spell slots. Oh.
And that's fairly dark.
Same.
But
Heck, I even
that's
timed the
seeable.
creation of that. Heck, I even timed the creation of that elixir of flight just simply so it'd still be usable even after this long rest.
Art.
So this is still seeable, right?
Yeah, I can still see
Yeah.
the background.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Wait, before we long rest, did you finish with your glasses?
You're right. You're right. I
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
would have. So, what do I see
On him?
on him and the thing Shaky was trying to get me to look at?
The painting,
The painting,
Ah.
yeah.
which is
on
currently in your possession. I have gone to bed.
Yeah. On him, you see a light gray tether that seems to vanish about probably 6 inches above his head.
Actually, detect magic wouldn't show me that. It would
Oh,
likely
it not.
he only
Yes,
show
it
me.
would.
It would?
Yeah, it was brought up last episode that it would show tethers / bonds between the person and whoever else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if it doesn't do that normally, we'll say it doesn't.
It's just not as powerful as the dark spell he was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Fair
But
enough.
you do still see it.
Do I see some sort of aura to indicate he's currently under the effects of any sort of magic otherwise?
Nope, not really.
Like necromancy or something like that?
Nope.
Alright. Next I'm gonna look at the painting.
Cool. The painting itself doesn't seem to have much magic to it. It has a slight magical aura to it.
Indicating that it had previously been affected by it, but nothing's going on with it right now.
Yeah. To the best of your knowledge, especially with your degree of alchemy, it probably is magic infused ink to some degree to make the painting last longer and not like die out or
Okay.
anything like that.
Lamination,
Dang it.
magical lamination.
It fooled me with its central position in the room.
Seemed like memorial.
Wait, a memorial? So then it was the previous generation that was originally bound.
How do you mean?
I mean, a memorial is usually there to honor the dead.
Oh.
They said that these guys were still alive.
They are still alive. I don't know what a different word for memorial would be. Showcase?
Close enough.
Portrait.
Portrait, yeah. It is a big room showing them. Anyways,
Altar.
yeah. So the day-ish passes kind of nicely. It's
wait,
starting to
that-
dim. Huh?
Before that, when Oliver is doing the seeing,
Mhm.
Right.
Magic lens
yes.
cleaner.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Can I go up and ask him?
Yeah, you can ask
he's
some
doing.
questions.
Okay. Tiefling.
Hmm?
What are you doing?
I'm
How
using-
Does
Hmm?
this... What? How does this work exactly?
It was an old concoction. Somebody shared with me a concoction for a lens cleaner, but it has a couple of odd additional quirks. Makes an odd glow. Be given off by any objects that were, or how should I say? It would cause an odd glow to be given off by any object that is currently or was recently under the effects of magic. I can use.
Right?
Say again?
Is the glow bright?
Depends on how recent and how powerful the magic is. And the coloration is based off of what school of magic it was associated with. The glow goes away a little later. I mostly just picked this up as a way to try and keep the glasses clean, but it has served a few useful purposes on the side. I won't lie.
One moment.
Oh.
Concerned.
What you gonna do?
Be like, oh, hey, Oliver, can you test it on Ellie?
What specifically are you looking for? Oh, sorry.
No, Ellie's
I-
likely asleep right now or just staring at the city, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured it just took me a minute to recognize that was Ellie saying that, or I think it was Ellie saying that.
You're welcome to look at Ellie with it. I'm assuming, Rowena, you're PMing him something?
No,
Oh.
I had someone come into my room real quick, so I muted.
Oh, okay.
But I will ask a tiefling to look at my ice cube rock.
Ah, okay.
Fair enough.
As you
what
look
is-
at... what was that?
I was just like, what is this? What color is it?
I will examine it, I suppose.
It has a pitch black aura around it. So black that even with, like, when you put on your glasses, it's hard to see around it. But it has that same little tether thing that goes up and then vanishes about probably 6 inches above the rock.
Can I recognize a school of magic on it?
For these auras, they aren't necessarily tied to schools of magic. They're more tied to specific gods or things like that.
I mean, if it's communication, it's probably divination.
Probably divination, I would say. Yeah, but what you can mostly see is that it's definitely tied to a god. That weird raising tether and then disappears seems to be connected to a distant god. The ones inside the town, which were bright blue, rose up and didn't disappear, from what you noticed.
Looking at this, I'm seeing it giving off divination magic, and I'd say with a tether that seems to be linked up to somewhere in the sky above. Crud, what was the name of the dark area again?
Cataclysm?
Tied above Calamity, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. With a tether tied into the sky above Cataclysm. Why? Where did you even find that?
It's a present from Ellie. I asked for it.
How did he come across this thing?
Honestly, I don't know. I thought it was just going to be a regular rock when you looked at it.
Oh my god, when you said ice rock, I was like, this must be something that was from before I joined. And then you were
was
like,
from
no, it's the
today.
rock
They
that
quit-
made you
they-
ice cold earlier today. This is so dumb. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great. Do you by chance look at Ellie, Oliver?
I mean, with indication that it's related to her, I guess I probably have some level of indication that it might prove fruitful.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tilt my head fast and take a look in her direction.
She has
How
a
many
very, very light golden aura around her that also leads into a small tether. Roll me perception.
Perception. Let's see. That's persuasion. There we go.
You swear you vaguely see something else, but you have no idea what it is.
I want to know.
But
I
you
assume
can tell a very small shimmer of gold around her that leads into that same about 6 inches above her head and then disappears.
I assume the tether I'm currently seeing is basically just tying her to Paylor specifically because we are in his domain.
That's what you would assume, yeah.
Does it mean it's right, though?
I don't think I would know it. And I don't think that's a question that Sin needs to answer, unfortunately.
I did not with that perception.
Especially not with that perception.
Yeah, all you know is that it's a slight gold aura around her. Ezekiel has a slight gray aura. The rock has a deep black aura. Oddly enough, Rowena does not have an aura. Neither does
That's
Shaky.
what I was gonna ask next.
I mean, to be fair, he has made it clear that she's not exactly worshipping anyone at the moment, so that does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But interesting enough, Allie's not worshipping them either.
True,
That's
I just
fair.
chit chat. So
Yeah.
But then again, I guess I have an indication that might make me assume that I am, considering she has directly made the comment that she has.
That is true.
spoken with
You might
Taylor
assume
before.
that she's worshipping him. That's kind of funny.
So it's like, I have indication to assume that she is actually a normal worshiper, because she has not directly told me otherwise.
This is true, yeah.
I mean, that could be a conversation for later or a question.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but just like, my character already believes he has a reasonable explanation for it, and it makes sense in his head. And based on your previous actions, I don't think he feels that he needs to ask that question.
Yeah. So, now that you know that your rock is a special rock,
It's actually real.
yeah. You guys gonna head to bed, or?
I suppose I'd probably be going to bed. Yeah, then yeah.
Nice.
Tiefling.
Hmm?
Did the tiefling tell me that Ellie has light coming off of her?
Yeah, would you
at
have
all?
told her that?
I mean, not unless he would have asked. I figured it would probably be reasonable.
Then yes.
So
I
you
would see him turn to look at her, and I'd be like, "Wait, does she have something coming off her too?"
I'm seeing some sort of light given off of her, and seem with a tether tying her up into the sky above. What is the light zone called? Gosh darn it, I
Helios.
suck. To the sky above Helios.
Mhm.
I would assume that's tying her to Palor.
Goodness.
That's
Something wrong?
reassuring.
Is she? Rena kind of just like thinks this to herself, but
Mhm.
she actually talking with gods.
The first time you've gotten any confirmation that she's connected, yeah.
Wait. Tiefling, do me another favor.
Huh?
Do me another favor.
What's up?
Does Shaky have anything coming off of him?
I look over and I assume I see nothing.
He does not know.
Does he see the glow from the dice that I think aren't magical?
Oh, that's a good
that's
point.
right.
Oh,
I'm not going to be able to discern what it does, but I could had some sort of indication if it is magical.
For that question to be answered, I need to know, where is the bag visible that is containing the dice?
I was expecting you to
I
ask what
am
the 7 schools of
currently-
magic are based off of, but okay.
I am one.
Uh-huh.
I don't think the bag needs to be visible because to block a magic, you need like a foot of dirt or like a thin sheet of lead.
That's fair.
Like
Or
a
an
couple inches
anti-magic
of steel.
field.
So I don't think fabric's gonna stop it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
Having said that, I am sleeping right now, so I probably put my pack at like the foot of, or probably even the head, so it's in grabbing range in case I need to grab a crossbow, like the head of my sleeping roll.
Okay, because yeah, it feels
Am I
like
correct in the
kind of
assumption
near
that-
your chest area, or like kind of in front of you, and he was at the back. I probably wouldn't say so, but since it is semi-visible, or at least kind of near the heavier thing, you would see a small magic glimmer coming from his bag. Specifically, you see two distinctly weird magic. One of them, though, you're very confused by. Roll me perception real quick.
My gosh, what are my rolls
No,
today?
all right, fair enough. You're very confused by it because it looks like a raging tempest. The magic itself is just spinning, basically. It's really weird to describe, especially with that low perception. You cannot possibly fathom what kind of hell you're looking at there. It doesn't look bad, necessarily, but it looks like you're looking into a miniature storm, but it's just magic.
Am I correct in the assumption in that when you say that, you do not necessarily mean that it's evocation magic?
Evocation does what?
It's elementals. It's elemental.
It is not.
Spells.
Well, with that perception, I will say you have no idea.
Fair enough. I will directly roll it.
Specifically because of this, you'd be able to tell with most others, but this one specifically, you have not a clue what the hell this thing is. I will say, is there? Do you have investigation? You do. Roll me investigation.
I do indeed. For the love
Yeah,
of God.
that'll do it.
+6.
You're very
First roll I get
confused.
above a 10 today.
I know, right? You're very confused, and you can tell this is not a single type of magic. This is possibly every type of magic. You count all 7 of the schools in there.
Oh, that's unusual.
What?
I'm picking up no magic on Shaky himself, but it seems that something in his bag is giving off several different schools of magic.
You know, I'm tempted to say that he wouldn't mind us just linking it. Your attack.
I'm fairly certain he would.
Bitches, take this from you.
Just for a
I'm
little
fairly
bit.
certain he wouldn't notice.
But I'm not going to. I'm not going to suggest that. Do you see anything, like, if you hold up your hand, do you see anything coming off of it?
I'm going to hold up my hand and look at it, I suppose.
This would
You
answer
see-
the
I
other
see
question.
nothing.
You see no tether, no.
I see nothing. And I just simply say, he's staring at my hand before lowering it back to my side again.
And me?
I see him also looking at her. I see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing magic-wise, anyway.
Well then. That kind of makes me feel like I'm the odd one out.
I mean, I didn't see anything when I looked at him either. Nor did I see any indication looking at myself. How's that make you the odd one out?
What?
But did you check your back?
The thing is, Shaky obviously has something crazy by him, right? With him?
I would wager it's just some sort of I'd wager it's one of the trinkets that he pilfered in our previous couple stops.
Yes, but he still has something, is what I say, Tiefling. And then you... I don't know, it's probably because you're the one casting the spell that you can't see it, but...
Oh, you
if
could put the
Ellie-
glasses on you.
I mean, none of my tools are necessarily magical on their own. Well, except for that elixir I passed you.
Ellie has something coming off of her, and she speaks with gods, and you speak with one. So obviously there's something that's going to be on you.
Well, it
Just can't
does.
see it.
Maybe. But that does give me another extra thought. I say as I pull Paylor's pendant out of my shirt and stare at that.
It does have a even more minor glow to it than Ellie's. Ellie is like a shimmer almost. This one is like a very dull gold aura to it. It's definitely the same color base as Ellie's aura. It's just far, far, far weaker.
Oh, it's definitely tied to Paylor, or at least tied to the same source that hers is, but to a much weaker extent it looks like at the moment. And I say just putting it back in. Not to be fair, I suppose most I would assume most of these religious symbols are more akin to. Actually, I don't have any idea with these things. It's weird. I need to look into this later.
It's something for another time.
Mhm.
She starts to walk away. And then she turns back around and she's like, okay, listen. I don't really care, okay, if you die or not. But I would prefer you to die by my hand, so don't die in this battle, okay? And then she walks off.
He just stares blankly for a couple of seconds, turns around and looks back towards where he left his stuff. Just like, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a scratch record.
Don't die unless I kill you. Yeah, just stay alive, fool. Yes. I love it.
The only real reason I phrase it like that, I'm fairly certain she's told me that directly multiple times.
Only
Yes, but this time she said, "Don't die," unless it's by me.
My point.
heartwarming.
Very much so.
All right. Yeah, so night starts to come by, and he's prepping his spells. Is about 11 o'clock or so at night now, or just before. And you can see him like kind of like rubbing his hands together as he's standing over it. You all slowly waking up now. Very groggily, I would imagine, since this is very much so not your usual times of sleeping or waking up. And he kind of looks at you guys as you're slowly getting up, and he's like, all right, putting the finishing touches on this baby, as he kind of like puts more candles down and kind of snaps his finger. A couple of them light up. He's like, all right, how many of you have experience with god domains?
Define domains in this case.
Thank God.
Kind of like scratches his chin for a second. Okay, you know how do I phrase this? You know how Palor and Shar are at odds with each other, and they control like a third of the continent, kind of? Each.
Yes.
Yes.
Each of those are their domains. Inside of their domains, gods can have physical effects on things. When they have too much of a force, we call it a god domain. And essentially, they kind of configure the surroundings to some degree based on their own force of will, more or less.
If that's the case, then I personally no, but I've been stuck in the forest. Though I have been visited by Palor in like dream states and seen him in his form.
That would kind of
So-
be like a god domain, the mental one. Oh, that's fascinating. Hadn't even considered that.
But that's only when I'm asleep. Other than that, I don't see either of the gods, but it's specifically when I'm asleep and depending where I'm at. So if I'm in the gray zone, it's both. Cataclysm, it's just Shar. Here, it's Palor, obviously, so...
Well, that's somewhat good to know. So, in this kind of domain, obviously I'm going to be poking the bear with a stick, which means that her force of this is going to be a little bit stronger. You've probably noticed above us that there are no trees. Normally, this would mean we would be all on fire right now. However, because of her specific force of will, she's basically changed this kind of surrounding area to be, I guess, less deadly? I don't know, some mistake like that.
Noted. So find a wide-brimmed cap or a parcel for when this is finished.
Yeah, well, it probably won't go back immediately, so you should be fine. Palor also tends to make the trees to make it so his subjects don't die immediately. I don't know what's with this man in Eternal Day, but he likes the light. Regardless, that is not important. Just when you're inside the place, it's going to become very dark. Because, unlike you guys probably have experienced inside of Helios, it's going to become nighttime. Yeah, it's going to go past twilight. So do me a favor. No matter what you do, no matter what calls to you, no matter what is in your insane brains. I know you're adventurers and you like to be chaotic and you like to not follow orders because generally speaking, following orders immediately will just kind of get you killed in some cases. Do not
Amen,
look
brother.
at the moon. Don't do it. Please. Everybody got that?
Okay, so don't get blinded by the light or the darkness, and don't look at the moon.
Yeah,
I could
don't look at the moon.
I could throw a sticky paint in their face.
No,
Not the-
you guys don't look at the moon. It doesn't matter if they look at the moon. They're already captured. You guys no matter what you do, do not look at the moon. If you do, well, just don't.
So I take it will probably be controlled if we do look at the moon.
Well, let me phrase it like this. It's not the moon.
Do you mean the sun's reflections off the moon?
No.
Oh, it's a fake moon.
Wait, the
Kind of.
sun reflects off the moon?
Where do you think the moonlight comes from? You think the moon itself, do you think stone itself just glows?
I mean, I kind of had a. I don't want to talk about it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Look, it's not like they teach astrology where I'm from.
But it's
I
like,
like
yeah,
that.
it's
Sounds
not
that
quite the
supports her
moon.
career.
It's basically the manifestation of her power staring down onto the entire town.
Next
In
thing I know,
form
you're
of an
gonna tell
eyeball.
me the Earth is round.
I honestly wouldn't know the answer to that.
Oh yeah, no, y'all maps past that. Oh, that's funny.
Because he hasn't seen beyond the island.
Yep. But he just kind of sits down in his circle again. All right, so repeat to me what I just told you.
Don't look at the moon.
Good
The
boy.
moon is not your friend.
Very good.
Yeah.
If one of you
that.
do manages to look at the moon, though, somebody punch him really, really hard. Just into the ground immediately. No hesitation.
Tiefling.
Question. I'm not a good puncher. Is it okay if I just shoot him into the ground?
Yeah, I'll probably
Don't
need to
look
be
at me
shot.
like that.
It's kind of hard to knock me out.
Do whatever you can to distract them as fast as possible. You really don't want to deal with them if they look at the moon for too long. Unless you have a really, really strong will.
Hold up, it's just for too long, so I'll quick look for like a half a second or two. Probably.
That's
Isn't going to
probably
be
too
that big of a
long.
deal.
Depends on your will, though. How strong is your willpower? This would be wisdom.
Not strong enough.
Don't look at the moon.
Exceptional.
The more you say it, the more curious I get. Please stop.
It's like, yeah,
So save
okay.
a temptation. And Oliver just said, it's just like raising a hand to his face, just tilting his head downward.
It's like fair. All right. So if you guys are ready, we'll start the parade. I'll shroud myself a little bit here, so if somebody does come out here, they will immediately find me. And yeah, just do your best to get in there, knock out who you can. They're probably focused on you, and lock the church doors.
How long does his ritual take again?
Well, this ritual itself should be finished within the next hour. But she won't die, probably, properly, until, you guys deal with them. So I'm pretty much just kind of holding her at bay for a little while. And then once her tethers break, I'll do the finishing blow. If they don't break, 2 AMs don't come around, and, yeah. Break tethers.
So,
Well, too long for Sanctuary to be valid then.
we got a dilemma.
Hmm?
I don't have any non-lethal implements of fighting.
Oh, what's your usual weapons?
I'm just using a hand sickle. I want to catch a knife.
Yeah, I'm not swinging a dagger at kids. I've got a knife, and I've got a crossbow.
He kind
To
of
your
looks
point.
at Oliver for a second, and he reaches into a bag. He, like, sticks its entire arm into the bag. You say you had sickle?
I just hold up the hand sickle. I sometimes use it to harvest old plants and
Yeah.
seeds. It's fun
He
to
pulls
watch.
out a rolling pin. Here you go.
You know that's fine. And I just put the sickle away and
They looks at Shaky.
Let me guess, a ladle.
No.
Soup spoon.
That's something with do you want a spoon? I can find you a spoon.
I mean, I'm accomplished with the spoons. I don't feel like I need more practice with them.
Yeah, fair. He kind of reaches in and pulls out a club. I was just don't give you a club.
I'll take it.
You sure you don't want the spoon? I have a very big one.
All right.
It's gonna
I'll
become
take
the new
spoon.
Phil Prince of
All right, cool. He pulls out a spoon. It's a particularly like the spoon. The head of the spoon is like half the size of his entire face, and he kind of just hands it to you. It's made out of a pretty durable metal. It'll hurt, so don't bash people with it. It'd be like a club, bashing them a couple times. Just made of metal. So, do you want
I'll
both?
hit him with the round side of the spoon. Both.
Yeah, you can get the club if you want. I have so many of these, dude. You want a club and the spoon? I can give you both.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can carry both.
He kind of looks at your arms for a second.
If you haven't noticed, I got a bunch of instruments on me right now, and now I've got this giant spoon.
No, yeah.
Wait, hang on. I just realized something. 3 of us are fighting with cooking implements, but one of us just has to be a rebel.
You mean a leader?
I think someone needs to get themselves a, I don't know,
A fork?
I have the greatest idea. He reaches into his bag and he's like, hold on. No, not you. No, where is it? Hold on. Ah, here it is. He pulls out a very shiny metal spatula.
How
I
big
use
is it?
this when I'm having a very bad day.
Is it just like a regular spatula size?
Oh,
Or is
it's
it like
it's a little bit larger. It's like probably the size of the spoon as well. It's much larger than normal spatula would be, and like he kind of waits and he's like, I use this when I'm cooking me some pancakes.
a pass?
I don't
I'm
think I want to know what your caloric intake is like. I don't know what a calorie is. This is a medieval setting. Forget I said that.
I make these when I'm making pancakes when I'm having a really bad day. I make some really big pancakes. I'm hungry for pancakes now. Damn it. I'll have them when this is over.
Yes.
Maybe that should be the first thing I try to bake. I wonder if
Take
they-
the
if-
spatula, killer. Take the spatula.
I honestly, Rowena looks over to Ellie. I honestly don't know what he's saying right now. Like, who is he even talking to?
I couldn't even tell you.
I wonder if they have flour, applesauce, and some eggs in there.
We all go in with cooking implements. We can call ourselves the Killer Kitchen. It'd be perfect.
I love it.
There's no worries for the kid, I suppose.
I hate them done this, but I love it so much.
Rowena, I'm using your real name now because I want you to understand how much this means to me. You gotta take the spatula.
Ooh, frick, his full
Oh,
heart.
goodness, he's talking to me. What was that again?
Goodness.
Rowena, you gotta take the spatula.
Oh, I think I got butterflies.
I'll take it, but I'm not going to use it. Takes it.
She still has that potion of flight, and he still favors that bow.
Yes.
Oh,
There's
God.
gonna come a moment where
Elixir
that
plate.
spatula's gonna be perfect for you.
You're just gonna
I can
punch
feel
a fucking man in plate armor with a spatula, a spoon, a rolling pin, and a
Both.
pan.
And a fry pan.
This is gonna be the greatest things ever. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, so he's like, alright, well, now that you guys understand the horrible, perilous risks of what you're about to face, I will not repeat myself, because apparently that's tempting you to do it. Yeah, have fun, try not to die, and I'll either see you on the flip side, or I'll be roasting marshmallows over what remains of this town.
Right, okay.
He then kind of like sits down, crosses his legs, and you see a small shroud of darkness kind of slowly go over him. And then he starts to chant. It's a very deep, rumbling kind of chant that slowly starts getting obfuscated by like this silence spell, basically, as he kind of like starts to float in the air slightly.
Guess that's our cue.
Oh, I have a horrible feeling about this. This is just say turning towards the village.
Yeah, so do I, but I'm really certain for a different reason.
I don't. I feel pretty confident in my ability to take down these things. I mean, of course, I've been trained and I know what I'm doing.
It's just like, yeah, I've done it before.
I've kicked kids in the past.
Oh
That's
my
what you
gosh.
sound like.
I've punched children over the moon.
You're gonna be focusing on
God.
woman pop.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so y'all make your way to the door of the village, this portion of the village, I should say. And you guys see both the guards kind of like swaying slightly as they're standing there. You also see some of the folks in the back. There are significantly less people since most of them were probably sleeping at this point in time. But the ones in the back are also swaying in perfect unison with the guards in front.
I'm just gonna sneak. I'm gonna try and sneak to the church.
It seems like the magic is the ritual is taking an effect.
Do you think they'd notice if I dropped up a quote-unquote trap on the front gates? Hey, Sin, how wide are these gates? How far are these gates apart?
Probably not super far apart. Maybe a cart's worth.
Could I
With-
grease it?
You could probably grease it, yeah.
Do it.
After we step through the front gates, I'm just going to grease the pathway behind us and then just say, we'll probably want to find a different pathway out, unless you want to faceplant a few times.
I can climb.
Alright, so Rowena
can't.
Stone starts sneaking around, probably get right past the guards and then kind of sneak to the side. The guards are kind of still swaying a little bit. Shaky, do you want to sneak past them as well, or?
Yeah.
And just simply since the details are out.
Yeah. Nice. You and Rowena, feel free to roll some sneaks for me. That's where we're gonna be ending it. Ooh. All right, 15 at 23. Shaky is shockingly a lot more sneaky than Rowena is at this exact moment in time.
That makes sense.
That's I ain't gonna cut, Chief. Ellie, if you wanna roll it too, just to see what you get.
Wait, hold on.
Hmm?
Did we blunt my arrows?
You
Or
did.
at least some
Yes.
of them?
I believe you
Okay.
removed the arrowheads on a few of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do like a couple at least.
Yeah, Ellie, if you want to do the last roll here, birthday girl. Wow.
Haha.
All right, cool. Yeah, so all but Oliver will get the opportunity to sneak a little bit. But Oliver, you're about to get seen by two possibly very annoyed guards. So if you want to watch Oliver probably have the same thing happen to him that happened in the orc camp. Unless Ellie wants to stay with him. Hopefully you guys will be joining us in 2 weeks on Friday the 17th. Yeah. Friday 17th as we continue into this village where you guys will almost certainly be going into the church, and you guys will be doing an epic boss fight that I have put in a lot of love and care into do so. And I will show you guys the character sheets or the monster sheet of boss, whatever it's called, NPC sheets after the battle.
I think for fairness, we should not see that before.
Oh,
or during
100%. I will
battle.
never show you guys the God, what is it called? Monster sheet?
Stat block.
Stat block, thank you. I never show you guys stat block before, but I will absolutely show you guys it afterwards. Possibly just so you guys can see how close you guys got to dying. Depends on how close you guys get to dying. So...
Considering I almost died in the first real combat, I don't have high
Same.
hopes.
Ellie, you didn't almost die. You took on like 4 people at the same time.
That is true, but still.
Rowena was the
I got
strongest
lucky.
survivor, though.
Shooting the way. Bing,
Yeah.
bing.
But hopefully you guys be enjoying it. If you guys do, just hit that follow button or check out some of our other content, including our TTRPG, YouTube, Tables of Taurus, where you guys can see the previous episodes of this, or Vods of Valhalla, where I post the other streams I do throughout the week. And I will see all of you fine folks on the next episode. Bye!
Bye.
Have a good one.
Peace.
I'm gonna have to learn how to play spoons, aren't I?
Yes.
What?